Speech as we know it today didn't really exist before the 1960s. I'm a child of the 50s, so I observed the development of First Amendment law. And by the 1970s, I was passionately committed to the principles of the First Amendment, both as one of the most basic human rights and the First Amendment as the rock star of the Constitution, as Floyd Abrams describes it, the master freedom, the foundational freedom for intellectual freedom.
First Amendment, the right of freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, and petition, was made to confirm and ensure the freedom of the individual. This U.S. provision allows us to express ourselves and be able to be who we want as we grow older. It ensures your self-rule and what you want to believe in, and it allows you to be able to have a take in what road the country chooses.
If my speech is, let's get guns and shoot everybody that wants to come out and cut down the trees, I don't have the right to make that statement, because what I'm doing is I'm just inciting unlawful conduct. I'm encouraging people to engage in illegal conduct, and that's not permitted. But as long as their protest was peaceful, they were acting lawfully and were within the law.
With the freedom of expression accompanies danger. People may choose to do unlawful crimes and argue that is protected under the First Amendment. But the question is, what are the extent of these freedoms?
We have freedom of religion, right? But we actually don't have absolute freedom of religion, do we? If someone's religion is to follow Charles Manson and to kill people, we would not allow that in our country, and that's not freedom of religion. Well, there are some objective truths that we believe, we collectively as a country, that govern our law or hold our laws in place. And what we say is we have freedom of religion underneath those laws.
I think people use the First Amendment to justify the negative things they say that have consequences. If your speech puts anybody in danger, you should not have that right anymore. Our First Amendment, like freedom of speech, is there for a reason, but there's also something called clear and present danger. If anything you say can put the life of somebody else in danger, you don't have the right to say it. Students are aware that freedom of speech is different. It's a right. It's not a rule in a school. So they do have limits to the things that they can say, as long as they're not being hurtful or being inappropriate with their speech. Their opinions can be heard.
The First Amendment also affects the lives of us as students. In school, you do not have the right to say or express yourself in any way you want. Many schools have a dress code, and if a student were to dye their hair a certain color or express himself in any other way outside the dress code, they could get in trouble. Many victims of this have gone to court and tried to sue these schools because they claim it contradicts the right of freedom of expression. The First Amendment creates controversy and does not cover every matter of freedom of expression. That is why differentiating what is covered by the First Amendment is important. The First Amendment has affected what people do. Some wouldn't have done good things for the world if it weren't for the amendment. But I also do know that I am more open-minded and accepting due to these freedoms. However, I also know that some people take it for granted.
Unfortunately, in some circumstances, you're going to have to watch it escalate, and violence will occur. And it is the price that we pay on occasion for freedom of speech, because the alternative, as you can imagine, would be to say, nobody gets to protest. That way we're not going to have a fight. So sometimes the cost is expensive. It turns out to be in people's lives.
Individuality allows us to grow and develop as the people we want to be without new barriers. I can wear whatever I want, openly practice my religion, express my opinions, and take part in the doings of the country.
The First Amendment allows me to express my thoughts and points of view. This goes for other people too. Many articles have stated that because of the First Amendment, we can post political signs in our yards, display bumper stickers and vanity plates on our cars, and speak out at city council meetings. This is all true. What would you say about the First Amendment not being an absolute right?
Well, I've come to realize that some words can result or lead to harm or injury, but I also believe that people should be tolerant of the opinions of others as others are tolerant to theirs. We personally thank the First Amendment for all we are able to do because of the freedoms we are given by this provision.
But not everyone feels this way.
Of course, many people are more understanding, accepting, and more tolerant, therefore avoiding fights and arguments.
I have many friends with different opinions and different beliefs. We are all accepting towards each other.
But even when there are those who agree with us, how far will let this negativity go before it's too late?
It is up to the people to decide.